Yeah. Man, this is a new setup for me.
It is. Are we too close?
I mean, no. Let's get closer.
We could.
We should just put all the mics right here.
We'll
just
start
like touching.
Yeah.
like
Just touching.
like high school cheerleader style, like pyramiding, during the podcast. Why not?
So I have to get a chair that is right behind you and set up like that.
I'll just put my chair. I'll put the wheels of my chair on your guys' armrests.
Yeah, let's
and
do
I'll
it.
be right in the middle.
Circus.
Stacked up top.
Circus style.
For sure. What's up with all that sawdust down there, man?
There's a hole where Nikola Tesla is.
Okay.
You trying to go to poopdick.org? Poopdick.org. That's a thing.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, that's the internet. I'm sure it is.
But the fact that it's .org is what makes it really funny. You should have just
Where's
said
what's the
poopdick.gov. Poopdick.gov.
Poopdick.gov. It's like how, I don't know. I don't even know how that would work. I'm sure we could try it out, see what happens, but
Yeah,
I'm good.
for sure.
What's going on? The fuck is going on, man? Welcome to Talk Junkies, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't noticed, we do have a new setup. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below how our new setup is. The table's kind of bare, but like Johnny said earlier, we're going to add some cool shit to it. Some real nice, cool shit.
This allows the prayer meetings that we have, like before,
yeah, we can
the
all
podcast.
hold hands and kumbaya.
We're able to hold hands and and do our ritual spiritualistic chant that we do, but this time on camera because clearly they can see us hold hands and do the seance. So
you don't want to do it right now?
No, not preferably right now because that is a deep, very much deep held sacred thing to this podcast that's not going to be shown on video at all today.
Illuminati shit, man.
You got to be here for it.
Yeah.
We could start our own Illuminati, man. We could do that shit.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we
For
could.
sure.
We could try it out. See what happens.
Why not? Yeah, why not? I don't know how far we get with it, but I'm sure there's always step one, right, to anything.
That's true.
Dream big, guys.
Just saying.
Dream big out there. You want to start an underground society that rules the world? I believe in you. You can do it. There's got to be a step one to that.
As you look into the camera.
Step one.
To all 172 people out there, again, that listen to this show, and not all 172 do. But again, I know we left off on the podcast last week that we have some interesting people joining the show here in the next few weeks. We have someone lined up for either next week or the week after.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yep, and then someone at the beginning of July. Still not going to say who. I think I'll just do like a surprise on Instagram. I'm going to get our Instagram going here strong, real strong.
I just love the fact that you said Instagram instead of Twitter. Like, I'm just so used to most YouTubers, podcasters, everything. Like, yo, follow me on Twitter. I'll post updates and shit on Twitter. And you're just like, you'll find out on my Instagram.
My Twitter game is real weak. Real weak.
Pictures of my kids on Instagram, me in a bathing suit, and then my update about the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't use Twitter like that, so you won't find any.
I guess I just don't
pictures.
use Instagram like that. So
I like it, man. I like it a lot. I don't know why. But what's going on, guys? How's life been? I know we did a podcast last week, but how's life?
Better than last week, man. I'm alive for this podcast, so
you were pretty.
I don't know if I referenced it in the last podcast, but I went through
maybe for you were a little out of it. Not like you weren't.
Yeah,
I don't mean toasty. Like, we always get a little toasty, but you were not that.
I mean, there's always alcohol involved, but man, last week I'm just like, fuck. Some partying happened last week and was not prepared for the podcast. Didn't have the same energy that Jesse Westbrook fucking brings to it, but this week I'm strong again, man.
The funny thing about it is that Saturday I told you specifically at work. I said, Jesse, don't you dare start drinking early Sunday morning and come to the podcast wasted.
And I
He
didn't.
didn't.
It was all from the night before, man. It was all from the night before. Scout's honor.
It was a good night.
Do they do that?
And
Scout's honor,
and
or is it just this?
I don't know. I was never a Boy Scout, so you'd have to.
I
Tell me.
was a Royal Ranger,
weren't
so I was
you?
never a Boy Scout.
What's the difference? The short version. I don't need 20 minutes.
Yeah,
here.
no, I wouldn't give you 20 minutes of it. A Royal Ranger is a Christian version of a Boy Scout.
Got it.
That's all it is, which I was one. Troop 88 out of Missouri. Hey, I'm still repping it, guys. fucking
going strong, super hungover.
literally, that
last
was my troop.
Sunday, Day of the Lord.
Troop 88. Troop. I kid you. Tony G's number 2, man. It all just aligned in my life. Sometimes just numbers make sense. Troop 88. Tony G was killing it that year. Early 2000s. Dude, yeah. Troop 88 all day.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if they're still a thing or not, but
So I think we're going to go in a little bit, and this may drive the whole podcast. We'll see kind of how it goes and if there's anything else that we want to talk about. But just in light of everything that's happening right now, we've talked about censorship on YouTube with Crow. And
I feel like we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, and specifically with just, YouTube and Google and all these other places. And I don't necessarily want to go into that aspect of the conversation. It's more along the lines of it's gotten to the point where, in my opinion, should humans just be quiet? Like, are we to the point where we can't have conversation anymore? That's just kind of my question.
What do you mean by that, and what is this stemming from? What do you mean by should? Because there's a difference between just be quiet, as in nobody should ever talk again, or nobody should talk about certain things, because that's censorship in and of itself.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. There's two questions that I have, and the first would be, should human beings, whenever we first began to be human beings, should we even have been born with the ability to talk in the first place?
Yeah, communication is great.
I know, but we can
every sentient being does.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like and who knows what it was like the past 100 years or 200 or 400 or 500 years when it comes to communication in a developed civilization. But now I feel like we're at a breaking point.
But, I mean, there's always going to be forms of communication, though. Like, even if you got rid of speech and stuff, there's still writing. There's always going to be.
For
what do you
sure.
mean? There's a breaking point of what? Is what I'm asking. What do you?
And we need to have Mike Anderson on again. And Mike, if you're listening, we're gonna have you on soon, man. I'm gonna email you probably either tonight or tomorrow and set up a date. But I feel like with the left-right paradigm, or whatever you want to call it, that specifically, it's gotten to a point where I don't know if any of our listeners know about Steven Crowder's channel. Almost 4 million subscribers, and there was someone on Vox who didn't, something happened between the two, and he tried to get him shut down, just based upon him mocking him.
But he didn't get him shut down.
He didn't, but he came close. He got him demonetized.
Yeah.
I mean, and that affects someone's livelihood.
So, but who should stop talking then? Steven Crowder or the other guy?
No, I'm not saying
or both.
No, my question is, should we stop talking, just in general?
My answer is no, 100% no. Communication is key, and you're worried. Your reasoning is because of disagreements, right? Because people disagree on stuff.
I think that, and now it's gotten to the point where it's affecting people and how they make their money and how they make their livelihood, because you have channels.
But if you get rid of communication completely, then that gets rid of so much livelihood more than argument is a great thing. Like, it drives change and innovation and new ideas.
But now it's so frowned
As long
upon.
as it's it's got to be constructive argument. It can't be two brick walls trying to hit each other.
But
there's
that's-
got to be some give there.
That's where
Does
we're at.
does
though.
anybody in this fucking generation know how to have a constructive fucking argument though?
Not very many people.
No, like nobody. Not even the people we look up to on a political level can even have a constructive argument. So how do you expect an individual just on a day-to-day be able to have a constructive argument? Because all you see is this is what's right, this is what's wrong. There's no fucking in between. Everybody's fucking got it, right? From the fact that everybody watches every 4 years political debate and shit, and they're just like, oh yeah, fucking, I'm on board with this, or I'm not on board with this, and fuck that other guy. Like there's no longer, are they right? There's no more, are they right? Because that's the society that we live in.
Well,
Everybody's right in their own mind. Nobody ever sits down and is like, hey, I disagree with you, and then actually sits down and fucking listens to him. That shit doesn't fucking happen anymore.
What's crazy is I didn't think about it until just now, so you were saying that. But you were talking about politics, and like even they're brick walls still, they're not constructive, which out of everybody, politicians should be the ones who are constructive, so on and so forth. But I think the big thing in that is that, like, because politicians get voted in and stuff based on what's fucking popular, basically, and we have changed. People are voting too much on emotion and voting on things like, so when you're talking about, I've covered this before, but when you talk about abortion and gun control and gay rights and all this shit, that hits people. That's like a real emotional thing. So when you're talking about right or wrong those are morals. Those are morals and values. So yeah, people aren't going to change their opinions. I've got my morals and my values pretty well set in stone. 99% set in stone. I know who I am.
But you're an open book and you're willing to listen to both sides.
True, but you're talking about morals and values. For the most part, that's 99% set in stone in pretty much everybody. And when when politicians are running for their seat based on those kind of topics, this feels so weird now. By the way, this setup talking like this, because I feel like I'm looking away from the camera.
Yeah,
because it's way over there. This is weird. Anyways, you're talking about those kind of topics, these topics that are very like heavily influenced by morals and values and everything like that. It starts, I kind of forgot where I was going with this. The point is, you can have more constructive stuff when you're talking about economics and foreign trade and foreign affairs and all this different stuff and war and so on and so forth and whatnot. There can be constructive back and forth, but there's not going to be constructive back and forth on abortion. People know how they feel about that. People know how they feel about gay rights. So when those are the topics that are being pushed forward and driven, there will be no constructive conversation back and forth. You will get two brick walls because that's what people are
for sure
on their own morals.
And that makes complete sense, you know. But to the point where, you know, people are getting censored for it, you know, and you know, channels are getting shut down with people like, again, this is their livelihood. This is what they do. This is how they make money. And I know we went into corporations and how we think, and Jesse specifically thinks that the government should get involved because now you have YouTube, and granted it's their platform, and it's the largest platform on earth, you know, for your voice to be heard and for you to make money and make a living and do something freely without having to join the workforce, you know. Like you can vlog on YouTube, you know, and so there's someone out there who he makes it. Sorry, I can't even fucking talk right now, but he puts it perfectly, you know? He says basically these news organizations get so mad because someone with a laptop sitting in their basement without any clothes on can have more followers than CNN or Fox or MSNBC.
It's because half the time CNN spews bullshit anyways.
Yeah.
You also get into dangerous territory with that, too. Is such one person that it's looked up to, for whatever reason, due to popularity, can now have a sway on people's view on things when they're not, when all their view is from their mother's basement and they're just reading shit. Like they're not out there. Like there's, first of all, any intelligent person, and not to say that anybody's not intelligent from just getting their information from one source, but to have a little bit of wisdom is you never just listen to one source of information on any matter, especially when it comes to whenever you're trying to...
So I'm just going to interject for just real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
So what if this person is watching multiple sources from both sides and getting information from those sources?
You're playing a game of telephone. It's a goddamn game of telephone
right,
at that point.
But not everyone can be in the situation.
I know. And I'm not saying that any one source cannot be listened to, but you cannot decide as an individual that's just listening to, like, even us, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
you shouldn't take anything that we say without listening to other people saying...
Because we're human beings just like you, and the odds are that we've gotten everything 100% correct is 100% not there. That we've gotten a bunch of shit wrong, and shit that we've said that probably 20 years from now, even individuals sitting, you know, in front of the camera right now will be like, holy shit, man, I was a fucking dumbass. I shouldn't have said that shit. Like, that's where everything's so developmental in all this, but you have to, you know, decide shit for yourself, and you never just look to one source of information.
That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. Like, you know, if you're watching that person who's in his mom's basement, you know, and he has 50 million or he has 5 million subscribers, like, you don't have to tune into that. You can easily go the other way and look at something else or watch another person's video. It doesn't have to be that person.
I think the problem comes when you have people who tune into this person. Let's say this person A, the basement sitter, the whatever, his mom's basement guy. When, let's say, even if he has multiple sources, he gets his information from everywhere. If you only listen to him and you don't go out of your way to listen to other people too, then that's just one source that you're intaking.
For sure. But you're always going to have that people, and I think that where the question stems, like should we just be quiet, is because you will have those people who just listen to that person, and they're going to get their information from that, and that's happening right now. It doesn't even have to be source A. It's legitimately happening right now, and it's happened probably forever. But I guess I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
To the people that maybe are like the 1% of people who are super vocal about things and are just like, this is how it needs to be, and they're super vocal, and this is how it should be. You as a person, being that person. So I'm talking to the people who are extremely vocal, whether it's through social networks or whatever, blogs, whatever. You need to be careful at the fact that you still have to have some humility in the fact that, man, everything is kind of like there's a bunch of shit that's fucking toss up, and that we're not omniscient, and we don't know beginning from end. You can have your pride smashed in an instant because some new discovery fucking happened on some shit, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh well, maybe I wasn't right in this matter. And so to be extremely vocal, and I'm not saying like being completely quiet or anything, and everybody should talk about what they want to talk about, but the extremely vocal portion of this society, which is the ones that stand out and they're like almost highlighted in so many things, you need to be careful with that, because the reason why you're saying the things that you're saying is because shit has changed. And then now you're saying shit because shit has changed, and now you're enraged about, or really excited about something, whatever it is.
Shit'll change again, though.
Exactly. So shit might just change again.
So
and you might be on the bad end of it whenever it changes. You don't know that. Honestly, the most wise people have been you're soft spoken. The Bible even taught. Oh God, I'm not even about to bring up the Bible, but this is a really good.
I almost did earlier when we were talking about communication.
A really good moral sense as far as the meek, the timid, being able to inherit the earth kind of thing, because they're the soft-spoken ones. The soft-spoken ones that fucking, they're hesitant about what they say because they're worried about what they say. You should be worried, I mean, not in the sense of being persecuted or being judged. Be soft-spoken. You should be soft-spoken because you realize, holy shit, I am a finite being. I've only lived, for me personally, 28 years. How much could I actually fucking know? I might think that I know a lot about some shit. I might think that I know a lot about X, right? Because I've been doing X a lot, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about this one variable, but you don't know. New variables fucking come in. Next thing you know, you're like, holy fuck, man. I was a dick. Shouldn't have been doing this. Shouldn't have that mentality. We as human beings have that ability to change.
So when you have a subscriber base, okay, for instance, I'm going to bring up the Steven Crowder incident again with who he had with Vox. I forget the guy's name, but he happened to be gay, which there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. And Steven Crowder mocked him with his lisp because the guy had a lisp, and then that's what triggered the guy to say, hey, you guys need to shut down Steven Crowder. Well, YouTube did their thing. They found out, like I told you guys, that he's going to continue to be on YouTube and still make money. And now he actually, yesterday, Vox staged a walkout where everyone walked out until they reached some sort of agreement on why they would come back to work. Now, that's them. But this dude has 6 million subscribers, right? 6 million subscribers. And YouTube's policy is like, hey, no hate speech, no threatening people's lives and stuff like that. Well, this guy called for, he called for anyone who's like a Trump supporter, if you see him in public, throw a milkshake at him. And he talked about he's like, if you...
Who did this?
The guy that Steven Crowder is going against.
Okay.
And he also talked about he just was jokingly saying something about assassinating someone in a tweet. How was he not shut down? When you're going to talk about assassinate this type of person, we're to that point is what I'm saying. We're to that point where there's the far left, the far right. And it seems to me, like Jesse, you said the left won the culture war, and they truly are winning the culture war because it's
won. It's not they're winning. It's won. That's done. That's done.
They can say things like this, and especially on Twitter, because if I were to say that on Twitter, and again, I know we talked about the Alex Jones shit on Facebook. If you were to repost one of his things and say, hey, I like it, you would get taken off Facebook. You never tried it out, I don't think. You know, why is this guy allowed to say that? Why is Stephen Colbert allowed to go on YouTube and just demolish the president in any way, shape, or form that he wants to and say that? But if someone on the right says it, boom, taken down. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't get taken down, though.
And that's completely.
You're right, but I mean, he didn't get taken down.
No, he got demonetized, though.
Yeah, that happens all the time to tons of channels.
No,
all the time.
no,
Temporary demonetization.
But there have been, this is a big instance. This is a very big instance of the situation that I'm talking about. But there are so many other small channels that have been completely shutting down or demonetized, not for just 1 week, but for years at a time. You know what I'm saying? Or just completely forever.
I mean, okay, so what you're getting at here is that there's some right side ones that have been taken down completely because of things they've said.
I don't even want to go right left. I'm just saying.
Okay, let's avoid the right and left. There's ones that have been taken down completely because of what they've said was whoever it was against said to them, this is hate speech, blah, 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 and then YouTube took them down. But the same people who said it to them may have done hate speech before and haven't been taken down, right?
Right.
Once again, I go back to what I said like 3 weeks ago.
No,
This comes to YouTube, man. It's a fucking privately owned company. They can do whatever they want.
For sure.
And they've got YouTube, whether you want to believe it or not, has a fucking side in this.
Yeah.
Google, Alphabet, whatever you want to call them, is a fucking publicly traded company with shareholders, stockholders, all this different like.
And I don't want to hit that. I
know.
But like we're to that.
But
point,
that's
though.
part of it. That is part of the conversation, though, is the fact that you're talking about people being taken down for this or that. They're not taken down for this or that or whatever. That's just an excuse. They're taking. If YouTube wants a channel taken down, they'll take them down. If they want it kept up, they'll keep it up, and they have every right to do that as a private company.
So
I legitimately don't think they should have the right to do that.
They're a private company. They've
that's-
done everything. They've put the money into it.
And me as a libertarian, which might sound weird because I'm big for big corporations, I'm fine with fucking Amazon getting fucking paying zero taxes and shit. I understand how that shit works. But what you're talking about now is the ability for people to speak,
Don't use
their
YouTube.
mind.
Use a different source.
but there is no other.
That's your fault. That is your yes.
That's society's.
Collectively.
That's society's
Collectively,
platform.
it is our fault.
Dude, you only have YouTube. You only have Facebook. You only have Twitter. I'm sorry. I mean, you talk about.
when it
I'm
comes
sorry.
to
Facebook, Twitter are the big two, right?
Yeah, if
you
you
have
want-
Facebook and Twitter.
if you want your voice to
Now
be
they have a
heard,
monopoly on people's opinions.
there
And
are
the second you're able to filter them to just say that, oh, now this is a corporation and they can decide what they do with their corporation. I'm sorry. Now when it comes to how people are able to speak, you can't quill pen fucking write down your opinion on something and expect it to be, oh, it's the Postal Service, and then it gets to wherever it's at. This is how people post their shit. The second you start suppressing people with what they have to say, I'm sorry, the government has got to have to step in my opinion, and say, hey, you can't just shut this person down because they disagree with the value of the company. Trust me, people aren't going to...
The government, yes, you can. It's the value of the company. That directly
that's a
affects the company.
dystopia. That's a dystopia
No,
that
that
companies
directly,
have created.
you just said you're a libertarian.
Because-
That directly affects the company. If the company
but it's so
doesn't
big.
have the right to shut someone down when it could negatively affect the company, then that's fucked up. The government has no right to step in and say that.
But if the government's going to give them immunity over any sort of being sued and shit like that, then maybe they should be able to step
How
in.
can any free-thinking individual that believes, hey, everybody has a right to say whatever the fuck they want,
They do.
can look at a company and be like, hey, you can shut them down because, man, this is really unappealing to 90% of the population.
I mean, no, I don't think
Don't
that
go. Don't get on their fucking channel then. Don't get on their fucking channel. Don't listen to what they have to say,
And that's
or
the-
listen to them and try to change their opinion.
You're right. You're
Don't
right.
just shut them down.
So
And the company should have a right to
Should-
shut them down.
the
because
company
this is
should
the
have
only
every right.
means-
The company should have every right.
No,
It is
that's
a
the only
company.
means of communication between the mass population. What you're
That's-
doing.
That's our fault.
No, so here, I think with the idea behind YouTube and platforms that are this big is eventually for them to just be basically utilities, like water, gas, and electric. But
If you make it in,
that's what it should be, because then at that point, there's no, you can't go left
so
or
how
right.
much? So then,
I'm
okay,
not going to sell ink to you because you have a different belief than me. Right?
that's your right as an ink seller. That is your right
No,
if you
that's-
own the ink.
That's discrimination. That's discrimination. You can't sell to some because they're you're a Republican and I own an ink shop back in the like 1750s, and you come in and try to buy ink from me, but I know you're fucking opposing views, and I'm like, I know what you're going to use this ink for is opposite fucking views of me. I'm not going to be able to sell you the ink, and the company in the United States can't come in and say that that's discrimination.
Okay, so
to hold you against
there's
this
a perfect
fucking means
there's a
of
perfect example of
communication?
this. The United States has already done this. They came in. You remember the gay cake thing a while back?
Yeah.
Okay.
The fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't.
And
man,
I remember
just
that.
hear me out here. The government took your side on this. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm all for gay rights, gay marriage, and all that. Okay.
Everyone is here.
Okay.
Everyone is
yeah,
here.
we've covered that. Okay. But a gay couple comes into. Did you not hear about this? This was like 3 years ago. 4 years. I don't remember how long ago. A gay couple comes into a bakery, and they want to get a cake for their wedding. This is the family-owned bakery who have very, very hardcore Christian beliefs, whatever beliefs, don't believe in gay marriage, refuse to make them a cake for their wedding. They got sued and were made to make the cake. And they lost the suit. The government, the judge, took the gay couple's side on this. Like I said, I'm all for gay rights and gay marriage. You have no right to make a company do that. A fucking family-owned company should have every right to refuse service for whatever fucking reason.
You can talk about
100%.
cakes. How important are cakes? But how
It's the same principle. It's the same principle.
you can talk about the same
selling
principle.
ink.
You can talk about the same principle, but you're talking about the very facet in which people communicate and gain information. Is now it is a dystopian idea that only certain thoughts are allowed to fucking come through.
Yeah. Something needs
It's
to
not
happen.
about buying a fucking cake, man. This is how people communicate and their viewpoints get put out there.
This is
that
watch-
seems to me pretty a little bit more important
Then
than fucking
people
cake.
rely way too much on fucking YouTube and Twitter, which
That's
is what I've
it is.
said before.
But that's how it's come in. So now something needs to be stepped in.
I mean, I'm doing this podcast
I don't
right
care
now
if you're
because
a
it's
fucking
fun.
Nazi. I don't care if you're a fucking Nazi. I don't care if you're the most lighthearted fucking individual or whatever. You should have the same spectrum of communication than anyone else. Should not be suppressed. And these monopolies of company, whenever it comes to communication and getting your viewpoint out there, the government should be able to step in and say, hey, you as a corporation, just because you don't agree with them, but now you're just going to shut them down and completely suppress them, shouldn't be a thing.
When I think
This is the new form of goddamn communication.
The problem,
it needs to be
the
open
problem
to
there
everybody.
is then where do you draw the line? Because I mean, you've got these stupid fucking. You scroll over to the far right on Snapchat or whatever, and there's these stupid fucking ads and stories and bullshit on there that people go through for fucking news, just like Twitter. People should be able to say whatever they want on there, right? But that doesn't happen. Snapchat definitely won't let you say whatever you want on there. They'll take some shit down.
Of course not, because they're all writing this whole thing to where this is what we get away with, and
But that's what I'm saying, though. You have to draw a line. So where do you draw the line? If all of a sudden the government is
common
allowed,
sense, you do a
the
little bit of
government's
fucking
allowed to
common
step
sense.
into. What? The government's allowed to step in and stop YouTube, but they're not
There's-
allowed to step in and stop someone else.
No,
That's bullshit.
No. Okay, so there may be a line of some sort. There may be a small, minuscule line, but at the same time, what it comes down to is freedom of speech, and that's what our country is based upon.
Which has nothing to do with private companies.
Okay, but at the
but
same
at this point, because things have developed so much to where your
Yes.
access to freedom of speech is these fucking social networking
Okay.
companies.
Okay.
Yes.
Then talk to
So
your.
now
then
you
talk
need
to
to
your
fucking reevaluate this mentality of what freedom of speech is. Because like Quinn and Pill, fucking writing shit out doesn't get it done anymore. Our new shit is getting online, posting on fucking Twitter, posting on fucking Facebook, all the shit. You were talking about a dystopian mentality.
Then talk
that
to your
companies can now
representatives
decide.
and talk to Congress.
So get the government
and
involved.
Get them involved. If you want to change YouTube, fucking change it. Get the government fucking involved. But nobody's doing that. Nobody's actually doing anything about it. So fuck it. YouTube is a private company. They can do whatever they want. That's how it fucking works. This is capitalism. And as soon as you want it to change, fucking change it and work on
Dude,
changing
if you're a motherfucking like tree trimmer, you still have to get in contact with KCP&L before you go fucking trim some certain trees or fucking pull up some
I mean,
fucking
that's
roots.
that's utilities. That's public utility.
But utilities though, right? You still have to get in contact with the fucking government to have fucking some shit. Make sure that everything's in line for the general good of the people. The general good of the people. To the idea that these social networks are, oh man, it's completely separate. This isn't the general good of the people. That now a corporation can now decide, what comes through their filters, and they can shut out this person because man, we don't like this person. No, that's insane to me. That's insane.
It truly is insane.
The real thing is, what if the government just getting off on just stepping away from this only slightly, What if and this is for you too, Jesse, so you might want to. No, I'm listening. Okay. What if the government is not stepping in because they're also agreeing with everything that YouTube's taking down?
Well, I mean,
what if they're not stepping in and stopping it?
Within government, you have
because they're also agreeing.
But you have half and half. You know what I'm saying? You have half
really
left, half right. Regardless, I mean, look at America. It's split 50-50 in my opinion. You know, there's 150 million people who agree this way, or there's some in the middle. Blah 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 blah. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we all know it's still ran by that crazy fucking Rothschild 1%.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, it's all about money. Everything's about money. Everything is about money.
It is. But luckily, within the Constitution, we're still holding on to it. Whether maybe we are, maybe it's a slight chance we're not. But there's the tiniest bit that we are cringing still onto the Constitution and the rights to what we have. And I agree with Jesse on this, to the fact that these corporations are so big, you know, to the point where they're able to do the things that they're doing. Something needs to happen, whether it's the government stepping in or people realizing it. And I don't know if people will ever realize it.
And I'm not disagreeing
I know that.
with what you've said about how the government should step in and all this. I'm saying that they're not. And as of right now, unless we do something about it, they have no right to.
But I think
because you know what would happen is they'd go probably overseas.
They'd
go establish themselves overseas to another unregulated fucking government, and everything would be ran out of that government, and then there'd be this whole other. No, it's complicated. I get it. It's fucking complicated.
But
you got to keep them on fucking U.S. soil, and that's fucking. You got to allow them their fucking shit to. It's just. I get it. It's not that easy of just being like, oh, as a government, oh, yeah, I'm going to come in.
There's a difference between there's a difference between. I'm not disagreeing with you that would be the right thing to do. Like, obviously, freedom of speech should apply to fucking corporations and everything else to a degree, but it doesn't, and it's not written that way. It's not written that way in the Constitution. These are private companies that have earned their way. They have done the fucking man work to be where they are.
But and here's the thing, and this is the beautiful thing about everything that's happening, everything we're talking about, because like I said, you have you have people on the left side who talk, you know, on like late night shows like Stephen Colbert, or I forget the guy in Comedy Central. There's a few other people.
You talking about it used to be Jon Stewart on the Daily Show?
No,
you're talking about something different.
It's a mixed dude now. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. Is it a mixed guy now? I thought it was the John Oliver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like British or something. Right?
Yeah, he's British. So anyways, so they do the things that they do, and they go hardcore political on the left, and they say some shit that you probably shouldn't say on YouTube. So now whenever you have these instances when they're trying to, like, let's say if they try to shut our channel down, boom, we hit up YouTube, say, hey, watch these videos. Why are they not shut down?
Money.
Exactly. But if you have a big enough following and millions of people are seeing it, and you can put on paper like, hey, I'm doing it, so are they, then that's when YouTube backs down a little bit. So you can back them down into a corner. You truly can.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole reason that they didn't get rid of Crowder. They didn't get rid of Crowder.
Exactly.
But they temporarily demonetized him just to make the other guy back off make him happy probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're both making Google money.
Well, Crowder's he swears up and down that the only way he makes money is off his merchandise. He doesn't make very much money off being monetized anyways, is what he says.
But he's making Google money.
I mean, I don't know what kind of money he's making, but
I'm not saying he's making the money. I'm saying he is making the company Google some money.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because
I'm not saying that he's making Google levels of money. I'm saying that his channel is making Google some money.
Right. But I think, I don't know. Like, whenever I asked the question at first, should we just be quiet, you know?
I'll have to fix that. That does still.
No, it's all good. It's just like, just within the conversation that we just had within that past 30 minutes, it's like, really honestly, should we just be quiet as a species? Because honestly, like, we're not gaining any ground right now. I mean, you do have scientists in leading ed technology that are doing their thing and making it happen, but when it comes socially as a civilization and communicating with each other, we're completely so...
I don't think we should shut up completely. I think that there still needs to be talks, argument and conversation needs to take place. But I agree with what Jesse said earlier about wiser people speaking more softly and thinking about what they're saying before they say it. I think everything right now, should we be quieter? Yes. Should we be dead silenced? No. Should we be completely quiet? No. We should be quiet. There's a lot of loud noise out there about nothing now on the fucking news and on YouTube and just Twitter, fucking everything. There's people need to just think a little bit before they speak, probably. Myself included. Everybody included.
Yeah, no.
But you talk about should we be quiet? Should we be completely quiet? No. I mean, conversation needs to always happen. Argument needs to always happen. Innovation, ideas, so on and so forth needs to always happen. But like you said earlier, Jesse, the whole wiser people, speak more softly or whatever. I can't.
It's the meek shall inherit the earth, which is a very much biblical reference, but I like it because that is that comes back down to that.
They're taking their time. To
the
put
wiser you
thought.
are, the wiser you are, the more you realize you probably don't fucking have anything right because everything, it only is what it is right now. And it's going to be so much different the same way that everything was fucking different 1,000 years ago. So how can you expect to have everything right now when everything's just changing? The idea that anything can be right now and when everything's so much changing and information is coming in and out, like there's so much. There's so much.
You sound like a goddamn fax machine up in here.
But the idea that you should be silencing people for their opinions, and this might be the fucking libertarian in me, but let the Nazi fucking talk.
You have to.
Let the Nazi talk because you cannot just suppress them. You want to really change, like, you can't just, be angry and be like, oh, man, you're a fucking Nazi. I'm going to shut you up. And I know this is an extreme portion because everybody fucking hates Nazis, right? Everybody fucking hates Nazis. So you're a Nazi and I fucking hate you. I just need to shut you up. That's not how you end Nazi people, right? What you do is you talk to them.
Change their mind.
You talk to them. You allow them to speak. And this is the most difficult part for us because the second they start to speak, you start to get angry. Because they're so hostile to your mentality, to the way that you see the world. They are so against the grain of what you have set up as reality. They're this just like awful fucking thing. And I know it takes a big person to let somebody say awful things and to allow them to speak. But just like any one of us should be allowed to speak. If ever you think that you should be allowed to speak, so is another person. Without a doubt. No matter, regardless of how against the grain it is to you and the fabric of your morality and the reality that you have decided is right, you need to allow another person to fucking speak and have their voice said. And that's it. And then you change it through conversation and through a lot of other modalities and fucking all this. But, man, you just can't be like, oh, I disagree with this guy. I'm going to not allow him to talk now. No.
It's bad.
Now that is dystopian. Viewers, that is dystopian to say that I believe in something or the general population believes in something so much, but 1% believes in it. We just need to shut them down entirely. That's how you get a dystopian fucking future.
That's what's trying to. That's exactly what is trying to happen.
That shit's
right
what's scary to me, man.
No, but
that shit's what's scary to me.
It's truly happening though. What you just described.
Scary.
It's
fucking scary.
So I mean, like
it's dystopian.
So to try and avoid that, maybe we should just be quiet. Then I don't know. I mean, maybe it would happen.
That's worse though. That's worse.
It would happen even faster. You're right. I mean, like of course people are going to continuously talk against what they're saying, but it just seems like they're gaining ground. So how do we even fight it at that point? You know, like eventually it's going to get to a point where YouTube, and I know they obviously they went to Crowder's favor and shit like that. But let's say they stopped doing that, and let's say they didn't go in Crowder's favor, and they continuously go on this left paradigm or whatever paradigm it is, and then it goes to that dystopian, reality.
Yeah, no, I mean it's already happened in the past with other. I've brought up. I don't think I've brought it up on the podcast, but I know I've talked to you guys about it before with like James Gunn, who does Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and he got fired from Disney because of some tweets from like 10 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Some pretty fucked up out there tweets, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But he got fired for that, and I 100% disagree with that. Yet at the same time, like I said, fucking private company. Twitter has every...
How do you not know? Okay, so going back to James Gunn, right? How do you know that that's the James Gunn that's here and now?
Today, right? No, I know. You can't. 10 years. People change.
People who are so judgmental upon people about things that were tweeted on social media 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, oh my God, I hope that one day there's some weird technology that allows whatever you've thought about in the past just be brought to everybody's eyes? Because I guarantee you the people that were so judgmental upon James Gunn probably had some fucked up fucking thoughts. And I hope there's some technology that brings that to fucking light, because you are not some perfect fucking flawless rose growing in a fucking garden somewhere. You had to deal with some shit. You had nasty fucking thoughts. You had ugly fucking thoughts. Dude, who the fuck are you? Dude, we've all thought bad fucking shit. You're a fucking human being. Guess what? This is part of the human spectrum. We live life. We deal with shit. We probably attempt to resolve issues in bad ways. You know for a fact, I've attempted to resolve minor shit in excessive fucking ways. Dude, everybody has fucking flaws, man. You can't, don't look at somebody's fucking past and be like, oh man, this person was a piece of shit back in fucking 2008 and we need to fucking prosecute him in 2019 because of it. Everybody, at some point, in order to be a better person, okay, there's a few exceptions to people I know in my life. A handful of people I know in my life that were just generally fucking good people throughout their entire fucking life. The rest of them had to go through a little bit of fucking shit and probably had some fucking character flaws to where they learned and developed from being... they're like, hey, man, I'm fucked up here. I fucked up here.
Everyone's had character flaws, man.
Yeah. Why are you fucking persecuting people from the human experience?
Yeah,
this is what the human experience is.
And why are we even to that point? And for
calm the fuck down,
for
man.
what you just
Everybody
said,
does it.
That was beautifully put, Jesse. Beautifully put. And for me, I don't understand the slightest why people don't understand life like that. And maybe it's because they're so far into themselves. They've been brought up that way. That's exactly what they think. I don't know, man. But that's frustrating because, honestly, like I said, exactly how you just put it, everyone has been put in that situation. No one's perfect. Everyone's made mistakes. You know what? Go back and look at every fucking single tweet that person said, and God forbid, hopefully you find something that they said that was off the wall.
That's why I said you should take everything with... That's why I hate the fact that you said that YouTube and Twitter is the main source of fucking news now. Take all that with a grain of salt. No, it's fucking social media bullshit. It's not fucking news.
That's true. You're right. It's completely not news.
It's all fucking bullshit, but people take it like
it's news to us.
Garbage, man. It's fucking garbage. It always has been.
But anywhere you get news is garbage. Honestly,
True.
in my opinion. I mean, for the fact that there are humans out there that are trying to report current events, yes, that's fine. And that's happening whether it's fucking cable television or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. It's just always going to be there.
But there's news that is halfway worth looking at. Stuff going on in Siberia or whatever is worth taking a glance at. And then there's James Gunn tweeted about something 10 years ago. Steven Crowder said something 3 years ago. Fucking John Oliver said something 5 years ago on Twitter. It's fucking Twitter, and it's in the past. Fuck off.
And that's what concerned me with Jesse. And when we were talking about all the shit that was happening, I'm just like, man, like we've said some pretty far out there shit on YouTube, And what's to say if we weren't to get big one day as a YouTube channel?
That someone would pull up a clip.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, within a year doing a podcast, I guarantee I could go back and rewatch everything and then hear some words come out of my mouth.
Where you're like, oh, fuck.
I'm like, man, I don't even agree with what my old self fucking said.
And that's perfectly fine. Shit changes.
That's how humans fucking develop. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? That's what it is.
And unfortunately, that's not within YouTube's guidelines or Twitter or Facebook's guidelines, is that you don't grow as a person. If you said it 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 1 week ago or 1 month ago, you're still the same person you were 10 years ago. Like, no, it doesn't.
Dystopian mentality at the fact that humans cannot develop. How do you develop? How do you learn? You fucking fail first. Realize, holy shit.
But should you be able to do it on a national level or a level to where millions of people see you fail?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you got yourself to that point.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
Everybody fucks up. You can't hate on any individual for fucking up, because guess what? There's one guaranteed thing that every human being has in common. Guess what? We'll fuck up, right? What human being hasn't fucked up, done some shit they regret? I want...
Do you think if Bill Clinton could go back in time...
Anybody who watches this and thinks that, oh, I've never fucked up once, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment and be like, hey, I'm that person that never fucked up. Never did something without regret. You know what it is? It's not like, oh, you're flawed. Guess what? It's a part about human fucking development. Fucking get over that shit. Everybody fucks up. Everybody says some shit they don't mean. Everybody fucking has a morality that they have right now that probably won't be the same 20 years from now. because everything fucking changes. What's so hard about that? Everybody knows that. Installed as a kid. You learn that shit really quick. That things are finite and things fucking change.
And people are mean, and we can meet, and that's that's the thing that just like completely blows my mind. Is like if you're mean to someone on social media, you know what? There's two options. Either you don't have to listen to it and just move on with your day, or you can be mean back. We're adults, right?
Yeah. Who goes out of their way to like? I've seen this before all the fucking time. Who goes out of their way to just post some bullshit comment on YouTube? Like, how sad is your life where you have time to go into the comments on a YouTube video and be like, "Ha, this guy's a fag."
Yeah.
Like, is it that entertaining?
And
Or do you just really have nothing better to do? I've never got the people that do that, like blah blah blah, ha ha ha. These people are retarded, and I'm not talking about our channel here or anything. Feel free if you want to put that in the comments. If you got the time to do it, go ahead, do it. I don't give a shit.
Oh my God, please. Do it.
But no, you know what I'm talking about. I guarantee you've seen YouTube videos of something random. It doesn't matter what it's about. It could be about a fucking car. It could be about
hate speech all
video
everywhere.
games. It could be about politics. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, who are these people? Have you ever went into the comments on YouTube and been like, this video sucks.
Yeah.
These people suck.
Yeah.
But you have?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
so I was trying to be a rapper at one point in my life, right? So I posted music on YouTube, and then I would get drunk, and I would watch other YouTube or other music videos and be like, man, check out P Wiz, man, he's way better. You know?
That's different though. That's there's
self-promoting.
some self-promotion there, which is
that's
also that's a
self-promoting.
shitty way to do it
Yeah.
on YouTube is to do
Yeah.
that. But regardless, there's an ulterior motive there.
No,
it's
I've never
self-promotion.
not.
I'm
watched
talking about just watching a video of, I don't know, it could be a fucking. I was looking at cars there for a while, right? I'd look at reviews of a car, and there'd be someone in the comments, not even talking about the car, just being like, "Wow, the guy who reviews this car is really nasally and sounds like a bitch." Like, why do you care about typing that in the comments? Like, why do you have the time in your day to
they
do
have nothing
that?
better to do, and they get that's their flash fucking moment.
But even then, they
I-
have
the-
that right, and they
the
can
last-
do that, and that's fine. And I'm
They do.
completely
I'm
okay
just,
with that.
they do, and there's no problem with them doing that.
No.
I'm just saying, are any of you guys out there, like, let me know in the comments whether it's negative or positive or whatever. But like, I just don't understand that mentality of people who go out of their way.
People always gonna hate, man. They're always gonna hate.
I just don't get that mentality though. I got
There's-
nothing wrong with. There's people in this world that I'm not real fond of, but I don't go up and tell them that I'm not real fond of them.
But I mean, everyone gets a little bit bigger on the internet. They feel
I don't do
bigger
it on
and
the
all-
internet though too either.
And-
I don't get it.
And you know what? Within what you just said, I'm completely okay with anything like that happening. You know, because if
Yeah, if it
our-
happens, it happens.
if our
Whatever,
channel-
I don't
if-
give a shit.
Yeah, if our channel grows, we're gonna get a lot of that. You know, and especially the first year that we did it, Jesse, and we were doing Chiefs podcasts and stuff like that. There would people come on and say like, "Dude, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about." Getting emails like when I try and ask guests to come on saying, "Hey, like find your voice," and you guys don't have enough subs yet. You know, I mean, I know that's more.
That's for their own.
Okay,
I get
so-
that. I get that.
Right, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, like I'm still going to continue to do.
That's
me.
not
This-
hate though.
this is
That's
what's-
that's logical.
Or are people saying like, I don't know what the fuck you don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to football, and they'll say some mean shit. You know, like I'm prepared for that. Like it is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is. Like if I see him in real life, I could have I would try to have a meaningful conversation.
But like you said,
with that person.
everybody's balls are fucking 15 times bigger on the internet.
Oh yeah, and I think everyone could agree with that. Jump on with that bandwagon.
This is I don't know if this is on topic or fucking off topic, but I want to bring this up because you
Do
were
it.
talking you were
Do
talking
it.
about commenting on YouTube videos, which I don't ever fucking do. Besides
me neither.
one time. One time I got really frustrated. I'm not going to say the channel out loud because probably he won't do a podcast with us. I would love to do a podcast with this individual, but I don't think he will. There was a video which I defended that happened. It was like a year-old fucking video. It got a comment that I'm gonna sue this guy. It's a financial channel, so it has to do with finances.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
I'm not going to mention the channel or anything like that. It was a financial channel. This person was very upset because of taking the advice that was said in the channel, had probably lost like 20% at the time, 20%. And they were like, "Oh man, this guy, all this shit, man, I'm gonna sue him for, he sold me some shit." First of all, what I said, I can't remember my
Pretty sure
comment.
there's
I have to pull
pretty
it
sure
up.
there's a disclaimer on there
Yeah.
that says
And
Always.
he had even said in his videos not bring up the individual, but he even defended himself. He's like, hey, these are all just opinions, and this is what I think is going to happen, and good luck trying to figure out the financial market. He's not Neo from the Matrix.
You should
that
never
fucking
blame
can just
anybody
warp
else
everything.
for what happens if you take their
Yeah.
advice in the first
Jesse,
place.
Yeah.
Should this guy?
So-
should that guy be? Should he have been allowed to make that comment?
Yeah.
Of course, he should be allowed to make
Okay,
that comment.
so sorry,
but
continue.
let me say this real quick, because this is my big thing, and I can't remember exactly the comment that I made. But I was like, and he was literally talking about suing this individual for the amount of losses that he had, which 20% of, I don't even know what he was putting into it, but a 20% loss, that goes rough, which, by the way, is not even 20% now. Because if he would have held the position, it'd still be negative, but it wouldn't be fucking 20%. But this guy was talking very negatively, talking about suing this individual for the advice that he was giving. Now what I said in the comment, something I'd have to pull it back up, but I said, if you would have gained 20%, would you have given him money? Would you have, if all of a sudden, as opposed to your overall portfolio, you put $100 in to what this guy was talking about, and it loses 20%, you're so upset you want to sue him over it. What happens when your portfolio fucking gains 20%? Would you give him?
Paid him a percentage
Would
of it?
you have paid him a percentage because he had good advice?
So I think with life,
No, so Jesus Christ, no. These are those individuals who are like,
Cheese
oh
and
man,
rice.
this person fucking said some shit. Can I not say that?
I know.
don't
I
give a
just said
shit.
cheese and rice, bro.
You're not
What
allowed
is
to
it?
say anything on this
This might be off track,
YouTube.
but we're
Yeah.
talking about the last comments fucking thing we do on YouTube videos.
Yeah, no, that's
'cause
pretty
this-
on track.
This individual is frustrating me. I'm like, you're upset because you took his advice, and it's down 20%. Well, what happens when it's up 20%? Would you all of a sudden be super thankful and send him a check for $5,000? I fucking doubt it. So go,
No.
Jesus Christ.
That's nice. That's a good way to end it off.
And
though.
hopefully you changed his mind, but I highly doubt
Yeah,
it
no,
because
no,
those
there
kind
was-
of
there was no-
people.
I had an LOL. Oh shit! Like no, that was the comment that I left on his, whatever through the comment fucking feed, whatever. I had one other guy that was like, oh shit, like LOL in the back, like to my comment, the fact that I killed the guy, like, oh, would you give him money if it would have gained 20%?
yeah,
Kind of thing in the other
And-
end because you can't predict fucking financial markets.
and that's why it's worth
fucking.
But see, hold on. That's why it's worth reading the comments. And there's some times when I stay up at night, and I like reading the comments. Either way,
I mean, I like reading the comments of our own I don't go through reading the comments of like
I do.
random fucking man. It's all.
But
I'll read like the top 5.
Yeah.
I'll read like the top 5.
and you see interesting shit like Jesse just said. But what
Yeah.
I think the last question that I have, and maybe it's not even a question, but I think what people forget about, and I don't know why.
And I should reiterate real quick. I read ours. I read all of ours. I'm talking about other channels. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm watching
We definitely read all
fucking
ours.
Hank Hill
And
sell
we-
propane on YouTube.
God damn it, we spend a lot of time on YouTube. There's so many channels like
Yeah.
we don't, you know.
But I think like the lasting question that I have, and like I said, I don't even know if it's a question, but there are always, and maybe people forget about this, but there are always two sides to the story, man. And why not try and figure out both, as opposed to going with one side? Why not listen to both sides?
That's what I've always said. You
How
should,
important is that? That's
no,
so
no, that's
important.
huge. You should always be able to. And what I've always talked about with Devil's Advocate and everything, if you cannot reasonably try and find facts and argue against your own opinion, then your opinion's not that valid.
Yeah.
If you can't like try to have a grasp of the other side of it and try to make an argument against your own in any way, shape, or form, then you're not educated on your own opinion enough or your own viewpoint enough to really for it to be that strong in the first place. You should always try to see the other side of something. You can still stick on your side, but that's a learning process.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You may find some other truths in the other side of the story that you don't like, and then you're like, well, shit, I don't
And
like
you gotta
that.
be
But
you gotta be willing to flip if that's the fucking case.
and I'm completely okay with that, man. I'm to the point in my life, and I don't know why. All of a sudden, when I hit 30 years old, like I'm like, fuck, man. Like, especially with the job that I have, and you hear so much bullshit. And I know, compared to the universe, my job is minuscule, but I've learned to just listen to both sides of the story because it goes so far, man. It goes so far and so long that it's so beneficial to listen to both sides. Because if you react to the first side of the story that you hear, I guarantee you 8 out of 10 times, or maybe even 9 out of 10 times, like you're going to make the wrong decision based off just listening to that one side. Even when it comes to thought process or how you react to that situation.
How can you make a rational how can you make a rational decision without hearing both sides?
And
Like, that's impossible.
it is.
But if you only listen to one side of an argument, you can't make an educated decision.
I feel like so many people do it though.
Yeah, no, tons of people.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that we're very social creatures. Like we are very hindered in a lot of ways, especially in the fact that we're social creatures. So depending on the people we decide to spend time around with, we will start conforming to them. I mean, this is true in so many studies at the fact that you as an individual probably hold a close amount of income close to your 5 closest friends. The same way you probably have a very similar view set.
I disagree with that study just for the fact that there's the top 1% and then you have the rest of everyone who makes a median income. You know?
Okay, but
how hard is it to get into the 1%? Probably
if you have
extremely hard, so fuck that figure. Or fuck that study.
Okay, that's fair. But you tend to hang around people who have similar viewpoints to you, and that's not just because you all had the same fucking viewpoint in the beginning. I think because we're so social,
It's because you evolve together because you're all in the same environment dealing with the same stuff on a regular basis.
You deal with the same shit, and that also has to do with tax bracket.
But if
What changes for Paul
But
here, where we live, in the city we live in, what changes for Paul also changes us because we all live here and we're all friends. So if we were all live here for 10 fucking years and be friends for 10 years, our viewpoints, while always slightly different, will mold in the same kind of fucking direction.
I don't know about all that. There's a lot of shit that you and I and all of us probably
That
don't
we
agree
disagree
with.
on.
of
Yeah,
course,
no,
of course.
But I'm
And
talking
that's always gonna
overall, like...
I don't even know about overall, man.
and think about the language barrier. Think
Man,
about
if
a
they
language
if in our
barrier.
city they raise taxes by 120%,
Obviously, something like that, of course.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's large scale, but I think what Jesse was getting at with the study he's talking about is people in groups like...
I've lived with Jesse. I've hung out with Jesse for the past 10 years. We definitely don't agree on a lot of stuff. And we never have conformed.
That's fine, but you're still friends and you have a lot in common. And you do the same kind of stuff, except you have kids now.
I mean, we have a lot in common, yeah, but it's been the same thing that we have in common, and that's why we're friends.
We're as far as our opposing views, we're always respectful to each other, but we can get frustrated. It's okay to get frustrated.
The initial reason why we're friends is the reason why we're still friends. I don't think that we've conformed any of our ideas to the same ideas or molded them into the same ideas. I don't believe that.
If you have friends that just literally say the same shit and fucking, hey, me and my boys gonna drink Heinekens, fucking get the same haircut,
Jaeger bombs
fucking
and
go out.
Heinekens all night.
No, man, you don't want to hang out with you. Like, honestly, would I want to hang out with me on a daily basis? Fuck no. Like a clone of me, the exact reverse image of me? Fuck no. Dude, I'd kick the shit out of that motherfucker. Like, no, fuck that shit. There's always something good about, and that's how you develop. There's something developmental about hanging out with somebody who has different shit than you. But be respectful at the same time. You can have opposing viewpoints but fucking be friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's not difficult.
Yep.
It's very easy, actually.
It's very
In fact,
easy.
that's what's fun.
Well, no,
that's what's fun.
I wouldn't go as far to say it's easy, but it's one thing that I've been working on as myself, because I feel like for the longest time I tried to agree with all my friends. So maybe you're right in that aspect, Johnny, but that's one thing that I've been working on myself, is just saying, like, hey, I may not agree with anyone and everyone, but you know what? I'm going to try my damn hardest to be as cordial as possible, or even friends with that person if they are my friend. And that goes with any relationship.
I mean, there's no reason to not show someone respect or politeness regardless of their fucking viewpoints.
For sure, yeah.
No, for sure. You don't have to be a dick for any reason. There is no reason ever to be a fucking dick to somebody. Unless they're, like, physically... Okay, if somebody's threatening your life, guess what? You have every right to fucking have violence back, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But if they're just speaking words to you, and let's say they're even over-aggressive, like yelling in your face, and they're just, like, really intense, you just sit back and be like, okay, all right, that's your shit, man. That's your shit. What's that Big Lebowski quote? He's like, yeah, man, but that's just your opinion, right? Or
That's like your opinion, man.
yeah, like be fucking chill about it. There's no reason to fucking get all up in arms about somebody else's opinion.
I love this podcast, man. I love it.
It's how it should be.
Yeah.
Last week was lackluster, and that's my fault.
Hey, we came back strong.
Yeah.
Strong and hard, man.
Last week the last 30 minutes was real good. Our first 30 minutes were a little rough, but
Hey.
it do what it do.
Yeah. Baby.
And it do what it do.
Baby.
Man, why your ankle looks so bruised, man? That's bruised as fuck.
No, it's a sock imprint, bro, from working.
Jesus.
Got them Walmart socks, son. Haynes.
Nice. Looks like a bruise.
Haynes. I thought that too when I took my socks off the first time when I saw that. You ain't trying to freestyle? For
me
Talk
get it.
Junkies?
I was about to. Maybe a couple shots deeper.
Send him off, Jesse. Send him off. We're at an hour, man.
Yeah, guys. What do you normally say?
Oh, I thought you were going to
shit.
send him off in a rap, man.
Oh God, no. That's too much right now.
All right.
That's not where my mind's at.
All right, man. Well, hey, everyone out there, maybe next time Jesse will freestyle. You know, it is what it is.
At the end of it, yeah.
Hey, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. And to all our junkies out there,
Stay fly and ring the bell.
peace.